Boom! Welcome to the It's More Than Just Money movement channel where we bring you phenomenal winners in every industry. Like I said to you guys, I'm committed to bringing people that are doing amazing work that is impacting not only their families, but impacting generations and impacting society in great way. And now, before I tell you about the gentleman that I'm interviewing today, I need you to click on that subscribe button, click on the notifications bell, and remember to comment and let us know what your thoughts are. And share this video with people that need this kind of information. You don't want to miss this interview. Now, today I've got Sboniso Mtshali. He wrote a book called The Power That Can Change the Course of Your Destiny. And he's doing amazing work. He's an established entrepreneur in the field of financial services and investments and real estate. Is highly involved in many different entrepreneurial journeys, ventures, and businesses. He's the founder and director of Embini Holdings that controls imparent managers, licensed financial services provider, Impi Debt Managers, NCR registered debt counseling firm, Impiland Developers, NHBRC registered professional home builders, Impiland Finance, authorized credit providers, Black Prop and South African Financial Education Academy, QCTO accredited training provider. Now listen to this. He's the most sought after financial markets and economic commentator and uses his media platform, Money Republic, to educate and empower the nation by providing financial education, enrichment, and seminars. Sboniso holds an NQF5 wealth management qualification from Moonstone Business School, NQF6 financial markets and instruments from Novia One Business School, and NQF7 advanced diploma in financial markets from University of Johannesburg. He is currently pursuing NQF8 postgraduate diploma in financial planning from University of the Free State. My man, don't you get tired of school? Sure. Hey, that's a huge bio.
Sometimes
amazing work that you're doing, by the way.
Thank you. Sometimes you get guilty if you are not like studying, Yeah. So it's something. Sometimes beginning of the year I will say I'm resting, but come mid-year registration, I'm back.
You're upskilling. Where does that come from? And mostly I see a lot of the courses have got to do with money, financial markets, trading.
Yes.
Where does that passion come from? And a lot of people say, why are you studying money?
Yeah. If you want to be an electrical engineer, you study electricity. You want to become a lawyer, you study legal education and path. So same thing with money.
Yeah.
You want to become better with money, study money. That's all important to me. If ever you are a car mechanic, that's the road you study. So if ever, my dream was always to have like an ecosystem that has to do a lot with land ownership education, as well as money and wealth creation. Not necessarily finance, because in finance you can do every financial management course available, but remain broke. But when you understand the relationship with money, relationship with land ownership, it becomes more than the paper. It becomes more than the coins. So it's something that no one can take from you, and it's easier to actually become rich, or how should I say, it's easy to be familiar with money. Earlier on, I heard you talking about the perspective we have as more especially Black people when you look at money. We look at money with fear as something that separates us from the love of God, something like that. So for me, I just wanted to be straight and be specific that I want to be a money engineer. So I need to study money and increase my value one way or the other.
Have you always wanted to get into that space and become a money engineer? I mean, you are cool, and then you decide, I want to be a money engineer. Did you even know what that was?
Not at all. my father was a taxi owner. So every day when the drivers are back to cash up, so we have to count the money. And he told us how to count the money in terms of how to count 50s, 100s, all in order, all face up, and all those sort of things. So that, I think it was my pre-training of falling in love with anything that has to do with business and finances. But what drove me back to the industry of money is that when I finished high school, I didn't go straight to tertiary because of a lack of funds. So I had an opportunity to join an insurance company. All right. So I became an insurance salesman for quite some time until I was able to raise enough money to register. But I didn't register for anything that has to do with money or investments. I registered for information technology because around 2004, that was the thing. And the technology
Everyone
was
was doing
starting.
IT, ne?
Yeah. So I went to that one and I found a job opportunity under the government. And that is when I fell into the debt trap. So I was overly indebted and blacklisted, garnished, all those sort of things. Then I sat down and said, with my background from insurance sector, and I know my other colleagues were busy with investment on the same companies, but I have a clear idea in terms of investment and all those sort of things. Because now, my salary will be gone immediately as it arrives. So I decided and said, no, this is not life. I need to become a loyal student of money. Because now I'm frustrated, I'm depressed, because every time I'm working, but it seems like I'm working just to pay debts, not even all of them. So that was my situation. And then I took a decision that no, since I started in the insurance industry and I had my colleagues that were on an investment wings, so meaning that I had some slight idea about the investment and all those sort of things, I said I'll start with wealth management and study how to manage and create wealth. And then while studying wealth management, I discovered that one of the assets that is also falls under wealth creation is real estate. Then that is why I also started to research the real estate industry. But the second thing that also drove me into the real estate to become an estate agent is this thing of being evicted twice.
You were evicted twice.
I was evicted twice when I was still working, earning in salary, not affording to pay rent on time. Then I took a decision that, you know what, I will prefer to be on the landlord side than on the tenant side. And then I start by working as an estate agent, start to absorb the industry and understand all those nitty-gritties in the industry. And then I did all my paperwork to become a principal estate agent and so forth, just to gather information that will empower me going forward and so forth. So those are the few things that drove me. After that, I said, no, man, if ever after the wealth management I can do financial markets, let me do it. That is why right now I was concluding my financial planning exams. I'm positive about it, so that at least by next year I'm becoming a certified financial planner, because that's the aim at the end of the day. So yeah, so one step led to the other.
So when I look at your bio, you've got like a plethora of businesses, different kinds of businesses, but somehow related to money.
Yes.
Was this like an ecosystem that you were intentionally building, or did this flow from one business to another and forming the creation of another, or was it just planned and created all simultaneously?
Initially, it was not planned. It was not planned. It's a matter of winning in one business.
Yeah. Which one was that one? That one that you won at and you're like, yeah, Senya, we na manch. I'm going for the next one.
For the next one. After I resigned from the government job, I started an IT company, and I was winning on that one for 10 years. While studying all this wealth management, financial markets, I was busy with the IT jobs and stuff. And then for 10 years, straight years, running one business. And then from there, I decided that
Which
now,
year is this that you start this IT company?
that was 2007.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was 2007. And then I started informally in terms of the financial market because I was already equipped with education from 2011, but no licensing, nothing that I pursued that time until 2017. Then that is where I applied for FSA licensing, and then I ventured into financial services as well as a second business. And then 2018, I received my NQF4 in real estate, and then I also started on the side as a real estate agent, and then I improved from there until I was able to resign from that big brand just to have my small township-based agency for that matter. So one thing led to the other. Not necessarily it was planned. It was not planned, but when the opportunity arose, because the moment I was evicted, I said, I want to become a landlord. And then which route may I start with? Because I don't have money, my credit record is bad. Okay, so I still need to pay off my debts and then clear my record and then see how far I can go. Because when creditors were calling me, they will tell me that I won't afford to buy a car or property. And then sitting down thinking, you know what, then if I cannot afford to get a bond, then I have to build. All right, I think it will be cheaper to buy land and build. Then I will grow from there. That was my third plan. That okay, it's fine. Now I started to also engage other property development companies.
Yeah.
And try to get some internships, so just to absorb information and how they work and so forth. That is why I also did a short course in property development, just to get an understanding. I didn't know that there's a difference between a builder and a developer. I didn't understand that prior to the exposure I have to the market. So the reason why I ended up also venturing into the property development is my aim was that if I can afford to actually develop my own property, there will be no bank that will be bothering me about every other thing. You understand? So that was
the debt
initial.
traumatized you into wanting to never owe anyone anything.
Anything initially. Yeah. And then starting to accumulate some substantial capital, I decided that, okay, it's fine. In South Africa, there are 6,000. By then, it was like close to 6,000 credit providers. I said, okay, because I've got capital exposure, how about I also apply?
There are 6,000 credit providers.
Yeah, accommodating close to 56 million people.
Wow.
So just 6,000, there's bigger space there, even on that side. So because my business partner is my wife, so she manages that lending business. Then she takes care of everything on that part, because sometimes I cannot be on the debt cancelling part, also be on the lending part.
You are lending, you are cancelling.
So I'm cancelling this side, and then on the other side, my wife is bringing them in, I'm taking them out. Wow. So it's just an ecosystem like that. But that was not the initial aim. But one thing led to the other.
So, I love those words. One thing led to the other.
Yes.
But how does one recognize those steps? Someone is sitting and is listening to you and you are phenomenal. I mean, even in the way you're articulating your story, you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But did you always know what you were doing? Like when you were taking that first step, how did you know that this step will lead to the next one?
All right. I always say, become a loyal student of every opportunity. Even if there's no opportunity to implement what you've accumulated as a skill or expertise, but always prepare yourself. You never know what may come down the line. We live in a fast-changing world, so opportunities will always present themselves one way or the other. Looking at the fact that in South Africa, there's like less than 2% of property development companies that are actually owned by African people or black people, so to say. When you look at this vicinity of the city, how many properties were developed and owned by African or black people, you find that maybe it's also less than 1% in the certain vicinity. So those things always drives me that, you know what, I need to be closer in this space. So let me get involved with these people. Even if it's white people, I'll approach them as a sponge that is prepared to absorb the information, the strategies, their side, network with them, and so forth. So to learn, you know, everything that we do, the approach is just to learn. That is why, as I'm getting closer to you, is to absorb your wisdom, your knowledge, your understanding. You know, become a student under you. That's what we do. You understand? So those are one of the few things that we always normally do, just to learn and be teachable as well. That's what we always part of my focus. That, you know what, every day I must learn something across economic cycle, across property sector, credit, money, and all those sort of things. Every day I need to learn something while sharing what I've learned with other people as well.
Yeah. So interesting, right? Because you speak about learning, and then on the other hand, you also wrote a book.
Yes.
So here you are, you're a student, you're building businesses, you're growing your portfolio, and then at the same time, there's a heart of you that says, I also want to teach. I
Yes.
also want to write. How did you balance out those two, and where did it emanate from, the book?
You know, I'm an avid reader. A lot. I think I've got close to. I used to read like a maximum of 50 books a year on money and property and business only. You know, so I always aim to read at least a maximum of 50 books per year. So I used to be able to do that successfully. But now my scale has dropped a whole lot. But what I can tell you is that the more you read, the more you are able to formulate your own principles out of what you are actually absorbing. Because at the end of the day, a book is more like my idea, my perspective, to influence the next person perspective. So after reading the book, you co-create or you recreate your own experience, getting from the principle that stands, but you are also creating your own principles that will guide you in your respective life or standpoint. That's always been my focus. So that's more like getting an energy so that tomorrow you will be able to be more energetic and be able to serve people. I always say this is the most important value that you must always develop every time. It's more like a supercomputer. So if ever you are not really reading or studying a book or anything that will stimulate your mindset, it means your thinking capacity will remain standstill. That's always the case. And if you are reading or studying a wrong negative content, that will help you to do negative or things that will drive your life down one way or the other. So that has always been my perspective. I focus on consuming business content. It helps me strategize better and win better even in business. So when it comes to money, I've been reading many authors in money other than what I've studied from school, because there's a difference. I've studied finance, but
You studied money at school. What school was that?
no, other than studying from school, I studied finance, meaning all this financial wealth management. It's different from money, because money is more like it's more than paper. Money is spiritual. But when you go to school,
Can you tell us more about that? Money is spiritual.
All right.
And then we'll get into why you wrote the book.
okay,
Yeah.
money is spiritual in a sense that when you look at an animal, let's say I want to give a cat 200 rand. I can throw 200 rand to a cat. It won't understand. That is money, because the cat doesn't have a spirit. It has a soul, not a spirit. All right? So the second thing I will say, money is attracted to this. I always have that idea. Money is attracted to the knowledge you have about it. So I always say money has ears. Money hears you. When you call money, I will always say God. Others I will say universe. But God will align opportunities that will assist you to bring about what you've already envisioned and you've already become comfortable with it. You cannot have something in your hand, even in your investment account, in your bank account, before you see it there. That is a spiritual concept of money. Before I even have a portfolio of investment, I will look at other people who will talk about winning in terms of long-term investment. And I will also, in holiday, there used to be a check. I will take a check and write how much I want to manifest. Thereafter, opportunities will come. I won't sit down and fold hands. I will act and do. You understand? But because I do not have that money rejection complex that I used to have before, because I used to have a money rejection complex, and I understand that the reason why I get paid on the same payday, money is gone. It was beyond just budgeting. It was a spiritual problem. I understood money is evil. You understand? So that's what I had. I was happy because we touched on that point earlier on. So until that transformation happened from within, you create that area space of forgiveness between you and money, and let be some unity and peace and good management and friendship between you and money. More money will come your way. Rather, I will say more opportunities to create money will come your way. In South Africa, there's enough money for everyone. We only need access to understanding how do we go about making money. People will say hard work, but there are so many hardworking people outside here doing buildings, doing all those sort of things. They are broke.
Can you explain like the history of money and how it started in your own understanding? Because someone is watching now saying, money, but I don't know where it started. What is this money that we're talking about?
The money concept, for me, I would say started even from the Bible. When God created money, meaning he created gold and silver. And after creating gold and silver, he said it is good, meaning that money, riches, assets are good. That is the first thing you need to understand. The second point, when it comes to history of money, money was more like a bartering system, the system of exchange. So in those days, you will have like a cattle, you will have a certain skill. That will be money, because me and Mdaga can exchange based on agreements. You want chickens, I've got goats. We agree on how many units you will give me and how many goats. That was the form of money called the bartering system. All right. And after that, I will tell you, sometimes I studied the Jews as well, because they were the people who started even the lending system, the stock market, the banking system. You understand? So that is when they said, you know what, this thing of bartering is beautiful. And now countries and continents, people were starting to travel all around. Some people will use ships to India for spices. Others will go to another country or continent for something that they will get there. A system of exchange started to develop. But the clever people like Jews who said, okay, how about we create a center where everyone will bring a stock for exchange? That is where stock exchange started. The stock market business. It was a physical stock, like you bring your chickens and everyone can exchange. Someone bringing vegetable will exchange for your chickens. You understand? So the stock market started in that way until a point where someone will say, you know what, you no longer need to bring your stuff here. We just write on the board what you have, and anyone who want to buy or to sell will actually put everything on the board. And then people will start to bid for that, okay? And then the second part, that has to do with even much of banking. It's where people were trading using gold as a standard of value. But there comes a time when someone, it is the Jews, by the way, a certain Jewish family, who said, you know what, you cannot be traveling the whole world with this heavy gold. heavy stones, precious stones, and so forth. How about we write a note that will represent how much gold you have in the reservoir? So they said, we can keep your gold here, and then we'll simply write the note, how much gold you have. And then you can go and exchange the paper, and someone may come back and redeem. You understand? So that was a reservoir. That's how Reserve Bank started. That is why the old money that had a Jan van Repeat, it was written that the bearer of this note can actually come back and claim the physical gold from South African Reserve Bank. So the same family that started all the reserve banks or central banks in the world, that is why they are owning the money. Even South Africa doesn't own the Reserve Bank because they didn't start the system. You understand? And then around 1970s, they started to do away with gold as a standard to replace it with dollar. That was a paper money that replaced a gold standard. So now we are on the dollar standard. That is where plastic money like credit card now started to exchange. Now we are in a digital money. That is part of fourth industrial revolution because now money is just numbers. Prepaid electricity is just money. Airtime is money. So it's just an exchange of numbers. So in the next 10 or 20 years, will be a cashless society where money won't even be on paper. It's just a means of like transacting using these technologies that are available. So that is just a brief summary of money. But it started from the creator. That's how I look at things. Who created gold and silver? From there, where we are now on digital parts of money, but money remains gold and silver.
Wow, beautiful explanation. So balancing being a student and being a teacher.
Yeah.
Now you're the student that has been learning, you've started a business, it's running, it's successful in the IT space, you haven't been in the money space yet. In 2013, you want to write a book to empower other people with the knowledge that you are getting.
Very true.
Where does that stem from and why was the book written?
I started writing articles, small articles from high school because at the high school we'll have a library period. So everyone during that period is forced to take a book and read. So from there, that's where my reading habits were developed. So I started to write like few things like on a paper. I'll go to the library and make copies of such positive thoughts and all those sort of things. And then after accumulating a whole lot of understanding and knowledge and making many financial blunders and mistakes to a point where I was garnished, blacklisted, and all those sort of things, I said, there's a big number of people who are going through the same. Close to 20 million people depends on credit in South Africa. Some of them are overly indebted. I need to address that. I need to put it down on writing and so forth. So that is one of the few things that helped me because the story you have is an asset. Someone may be hearing what you are saying and be empowered. Same way when I read other people's stories, I get inspiration, I get more ideas, I feel enriched and empowered. And then 2007 again, this thing of technology and blogging started. I started a smaller blog and then an editor from Ilanga newspaper, it's a regional newspaper in KZN is big. I'm happy it's also available across other provinces. He said to me, Sboniso, you are writing these things in English. Can you translate it into Zulu? Then I became a columnist for the newspaper from there. Until now, I still write every week from them matters that pertains to money, property, credit, and stuff. So I think it goes with a gift and a talent as well. So because when I start to write, I can start now until the morning without getting tired because the ideas are flowing. And sometimes I'll try to rest and something comes up. That is why you saw me when I came in. I always carry like a big diary like this because wherever, whether I'm flying, I'm reading. I make sure that when I'm on a flight, I have a book to read. Yes. So the more you read, the more you formulate a new story that you can also document for the next generation.
Amazing. So how does one discover that gift? That gift that helps them to make money?
You know, talking about the gift, you know, I always like to quote even from the Bible because it says your gift will make room for you. You understand? And I always say there must be education about how to monetize your skills, your gifts, your talents. Those things are missing from our education because our gifts are actually our monetary talents. Someone has a gift of writing good music, but that person may be doubting the potential they have. You write something, just write. If you feel like writing, write. Even though there's no market, now we have a social media where you can simply distribute what you do. Yeah. So the space is open now. So same thing with any other talent that you may have. So I always say when you look at soccer stars, they get paid good money because their feet are educated in terms of dribbling and doing things that we may actually like to watch and celebrate. So there are so many kinds of educations that actually need to be integrated into the system, because you can live off your gift, you can live off your talent, you can live off your skill or any other way. But if you feel like you've got a message, if you cannot write, record it. One way or the other, someone may actually buy your message. In that way, you are living off your gift, one way or the other.
So how do you create a circle of people that think that way so that you can continue to grow the resources that you have in the spaces where you're operating?
You need to start by following people who you want to emulate.
Yeah.
That is where it starts. After that, you have social media, you have the internet. Create a space where you need to share your true story.
You share your true story.
Your true story. It doesn't have to sound motivational or perfect. For me, I always share my overly indebted story. How I was bad with money, how I changed that and become good with money, and how I'm assisting other people. How I was evicted, how I became an owner of student accommodations in Durban today. So those are the few things that I'm also teaching, sharing with other people. As you are asking me, what drove you into this or that? I can tell you it was problems. All my businesses are based on the problems I once encountered. And then I was assisted and helped to find solution. I'm doing the same to help others find the solution. And that's what we call a business. So it goes, there's no problem that must go without paying you some dividends one way or the other. So every heartbreak or a problem or a challenge or even death for that matter of a family member must rise something within you that I want to achieve something, so that even when this year 3 months ago I lost my sister, you understand, but there are things that, you know what, I want to dedicate my next book to my sister. I'm just doing it so that I'll say I'm just honoring my young sister because we are very much close, we were friends and all those sort of things. So you
Sorry
must
about that. Condolences to you and your family.
Thanks. So you must always have a reason that will drive you one way or the other. In South Africa, anything that makes people better, they will support. They'll pay for it. They don't mind paying for the betterment of themselves. That's one thing that you need to understand. Anything, whether it's the jokes, it's the music, it's the writings, it's the art you create and all those sort of things. If there's no space for anything, create a space, bring something into the market, look how they absorb it, listen to criticism as well, and then change from there, because we develop based on the request of the clients. That is how you actually grow. When they say, how about you do this or you can do that, then follow that through and then you can be able to do it.
So how are you able to manage all these spaces that you're in and the companies that you're operating?
For me, it's about developing other people. I'm good in starting things. I'm good in starting business, but I need someone who will manage property. I need a professional whom I will pay very well to manage the business. I cannot be the jack of all trades. So it's a matter of having someone who's highly skilled. My manager for the FSP was working for one of the big banks. So I had to actually recruit her from a very high-paying bank and say, you know what, I've got this. I know I cannot pay you as much as they were paying you, but we have a future here. You can have a small equity here, there, and then this is the vision that you can grow. And then someone will say, you know what, I always have ideas in that particular bank that they didn't absorb. But here we can test them and see if ever they can work. So I've got managers that are reporting to me, you understand? And then they also have a team that they work with and so forth. But I deal very much with managers, and I do my own sales training to the whole teams, to the bottom with the managers, because for me, the only thing that I impart is the training for sales, because if you can't sell, then it means your business will grow slowly.
So how do you sell the vision to them? It's easy to sell a product, but to sell a vision, not so easy. How do you do that?
It's a trial and error. Ne? Sometimes you will have someone that you can see that, you know what, this person is not for this. But you cannot discover that until you have an individual in your cycle. So I can have someone whom I sell a vision, and then I can identify from my group if someone take that vision and own it, because you must have individuals in your team who will own your vision and say, you know what, this vision is beyond this man. I may be a vision bearer, but to take this vision further, this is the role I must run. And we reward that. You understand? You bring an idea, we experience it. If it's profitable, you have a share on that equity of that idea. In that way, someone is not just an employee, but is a team member who benefit greatly from all this. I always say our businesses are growing because we allow our team to be creative. Sometimes we win. There are those times that we lose. But we never know unless we try. We don't try to be perfect. We test something and see if it works or not. If it needs improvement, if it doesn't, we teach it and look for any other opportunity that will work.
Amazing. So 2 of your most favorite quotes?
The first one is, as a man thinks, so is he. That is the...
Can you go deeper on that? As a man thinks, so is he.
Yeah, I would say you are the sum total of your thinking. Steve Biko once said, by the way, yesterday was his birthday. Steve Biko once said, the most potent weapon of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. In South Africa, we may be free politically. Some others may be achieving some financial freedom, but total freedom is the freedom of the mindset. Once you are free to explore your ideas, to be yourself, to do those things you were passionate about when you were 5 years old, where you knew no failure, you were trying everything, you were happy, anything that comes to your mind, you will try it out. That real you, who is not told limitations, because now we grow old and we try to risk, and someone will say, never touch that, never do that. Then we don't learn if ever we are not experiencing things. So for me, you are the sum total of your thinking. I'm here today because I thought about it. You understand? Tomorrow I will be in another area because it's part of my plan and thinking. So everything must follow your pattern of thought. That is why you must make sure the thoughts that you deposit must be the good, enriching ones, so that the results and your feet will follow your head from there. That is the most important part. If you are broke, change here. Your mind must actually become comfortable with money. The second quote, I will take it from this big brand Nike. Just do it.
Sure.
Fail when you fail, do it again. If it failed the second time, you still believe in it, do it the third time. Just do it.
Yeah. Take a few moments to explain the Money Republic.
I'm happy because Money Republic is a NGO platform that we use to actually reach out to different communities. We've registered as an NGO so that our approach to people is to is to empower, is to enrich and educate. So when you say Money Republic, Republic is an area or a land or a country. So we are creating a space where people will be comfortable with talking to us about getting out of debt, how to do it. When we come to a vicinity as strangers, maybe you've seen us online. So what we are discussing is that, you know what, these are principles that may assist you, or the steps that may assist you manage your debt very, very well. Use credit to actually buy assets that will pay for themselves, get out of debt, become comfortable, manage credit very well. Understand the investments, understand the budgeting, understand the property, understand the property management, understand the land ownership and growth from there. So we use Money Public platform to empower and enrich. But that platform allow us to actually easily market our business, our various businesses to people who actually follow us or come to our gatherings for that matter. So I will say, beside being the NGO, is also our marketing vehicle. It's our theme. It's always our marketing vehicle that people like and adopt. That is why we even created a wearable merchandise. Anyone interested to actually buy the T-shirts, every other thing that we do, they buy, and in that way, Money Republic as an NGO is able to self-sustain itself for that matter. So that is the concept behind Money Republic, just to empower and enrich mostly unbankable communities, because there are those people who are still unbanked in South Africa, who don't even own a bank account, who doesn't understand the credit money, who doesn't understand property and all those sort of things. So it's just a vehicle that we bring to educate and empower for that matter.
Amazing work, my brother. I'm proud of the work that you're doing. I'm happy to be engaging with you and learning from you as well.
Yes.
Is there anything that you want to say to the viewer at home as we close?
As we close, the first thing I will say is that make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe on this channel, and also click share. That is more especially this one. Click share. Make sure everyone else. That's the first thing. So if anything that has touched your heart, on the comment section, make sure that you actually indicate, out of all this conversation, what is it that resonates with you? You have your own story that you also need to tell. Put it on that comment section. Other than that, I will say there's enough money for everyone in this world. The limitation can be you. If you said, my vision is 10 million, then opportunities will align themselves. Other opportunities come as problems, come as challenges in that man. But make sure that you will be prepared to work hard to achieve that financial freedom. There's nothing that comes without dedication, faith, commitment, and don't forget to pray. As you pray, you will get paid.
Yeah. Love it. Where do people find you?
Well, check our social media. We are Money Republic. TikTok, we are Money Republic. Our channel is still small on YouTube, Money Republic, as well as Facebook, Money Republic. So please do follow us, and then every other information you can find it from there.
Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Sboniso Mtshali. Amazing, powerful stuff.
Yeah.
Like he said, let us know what touched you. Let us know what resonates with you. Share this interview with other people so that they can have the exposure as well. Subscribe to the channel. If you're new, click on the notifications bell. And from me and the It's More Than Just Money movement team, we'll see you again in the next episode. Ciao, ciao.
Before you stand up, ngicela ifoto nje sihleli so.
Yeah, please call